Usually in Project Zomboid, you just settle down, find a place, and call it home. But what if I called the road home? In this challenge, I will be living on the road. Rules are, I'm not allowed to sleep in the same place twice. Besides from my car, of course. Obviously. Like, what? To find an actual working vehicle, though, is gonna be tough. So I had to pick the right traits. Burglar, to break in, speed demon, to go fast, and all this other crap. You know, whatever. I spawned in with my wife by my side. I checked what little supplies I had, and it's enough to keep a car going for a while. Found these amazing pants. They're pretty crap though, I won't lie. I kinda look like a freak now. But it's alright, anything to keep me alive. Since I would get dehydrated faster, I needed to find something that I could keep some water in. This beer bottle will do though. My first steps outside, and I seen absolutely nothing. Until I seen something, of course. With the little space I had in a car, didn't want to keep, you know, someone around. So I commanded my wife to just walk in straight lines, back and forth. And that's where she would stay for all eternity. Until, most likely, she would get eaten by these zombies, because they were heading right towards her. I knew this parking lot would have a great selection of vehicles. So, my first plan was to get all the zombies out of here. Of course, I'm super cracked and I'll never die, so I easily dodged these zombies. While walking, I noticed this amazing truck. It looked okay, and, well, little did I know I would be spending the next 50 years with this truck. I'm kind of an idiot and forgot to grab all these zombies, so I had to jump the fence and go get them. This was taking longer than expected, and I still haven't got all these zombies out. It's getting annoying at this point, but I continued on, hopefully losing them in these woods. The trees made great cover after all. Now, after all the zombies were gone, it was time to look at my ride. And she was okay. I mean, there was some problems, but it'll have to do. Then this stupid zombie showed up and, well, it was my first ever kill. Definitely not the last, though. I was feeling a bit tired, so I needed to hit the road, so I filled up my car. I only had a little bit of gas, so I decided it would be best if I salvaged what little I could. I found a duffel bag, though, and a helmet, making myself look even more stupider. I found this map and noticed there was writing on it, and pizza instantly caught my eye. And then noticed there was some more writing. Tools I left in the bathroom will give you a head start. Keep them out as long as you can. I love you. I love you too, whoever you are, random stranger. But I was more focused on the pizza. There was another map with some more writing on it. A stash of guns would always be helpful. I'd make sure to remember it. Another zombie pulled up, and this one had some fancy attire. So, I was gonna make it my own. Now looking like less of a moron, I gassed up my car a little bit more and threw all my junk in the back of it. I lit myself a smoke, and I looked at the map to see where I was gonna go first, and where that pizza was, and I found it. I hot-wired the vehicle, and it only took me the first try. I cranked the bad boy up, and we began our long journey. Roads are for losers, so I just ran straight through this field. I knew there was a house nearby, so I took this dirt road to go to it. It was becoming night after all. I'd arrived at the house. I didn't want to draw much attention right directly at the house, so I parked right here. Zombies could be lurking inside, so I made sure to be very careful. I attempted to open this window, but, well, it wouldn't open. But I'm a very stubborn man, so I kept trying, and trying, and trying. And it finally opened. Never give up, kids. I checked the perimeter, and we seemed to be safe, so I hopped in. Life and Living had to be on, so I immediately turned it on. I love that show. I'd cleared the house, so I decided to read a book and watch Life and Living. I had myself a quick snack and gathered what little I could, and I headed to sleep. It was now day 2. I couldn't stay in this house, so I needed to keep moving. I looked at my skills and noticed I'm crap at everything, except for mechanics, which I am crap at. I just have one thing in it, I guess. I fried up some fish and had myself some breakfast. And I sat down to watch TV. I wanted to wait until it was daytime. I opened the curtains to see, and, well, it was day enough. I knew there were some other houses nearby, so I checked them out to see if there's any loot I would need it on the road. This house looked empty, but it wasn't empty. There was a strange man looking out a window, so I bashed his brains in and took what little food he had. Actually, he had a decent bit. I broke into this building, stole a crowbar, and stole some jerry cans I would need it on the road. I needed to hold a lot of gas for this journey after all. As I walked back to see if there was any more supplies, I heard a gunshot close by. I needed to hurry up, so I busted this thing open. Made sure to look around, cover myself, and I entered, where there was absolutely nothing of worth. I entered my truck, started the bad girl up, and continued on, finding another house. There was a few zombies nearby, but there were no hard challenge. I easily defeated them. Found a generator, which I don't know if it'll be useful. I mean, I know it won't be useful, because I'm living on the road. It looked like there was no one inside, but just in case, I wanted to check the other window, which there was somebody. I tried to open the door, but it was locked, of course. And this was also locked. I wanted to bait out the zombie, but he never came, and strangely, he disappeared. But I found him once again. He was just playing hide-and-go-seek. I closed the window behind me, and I was anxious at this point, so I had another smoke. I found this fanny pack and a blue pin. I checked if these cars had any gas, but of course they didn't. And no salvageable parts, except for the hood. And of course, the trunk was locked. And then this rude lady snuck up on me. But she got what she deserved. She had a holster though, so I'd take that. And some interesting undergarments. I was tired once again and I needed to find a house. I could sleep here, but I didn't want to. So instead I would make myself a cup of coffee. That'll wake me up. Another zombie vanquished. And another. But I needed to find another house, so I continued on. The original plan was to sleep in this house right up here, but you can see there was too many zombies. So the next one would have to do. I drove up, and by sheer luck I found a survivor house, or whatever they're called. I knew there was going to be good loot, so I vanquished every single zombie I could nearby. I wanted to make sure the place was clear, because I knew I was going to be transferring a lot of loot. I found this nice cowboy hat, and I preferred fashion over protection. I know, kinda dumb, but who cares? It was getting hard to kill zombies at this point. I knew I needed to fall asleep. But that's when a horde of zombies approached me. Weirdos. I killed them fast though. More came, like flies. But these guys were easy too. These barrels were completely full of fuel though, so that's amazing. And I was harassed by more zombies. And I kinda embarrassingly missed. It's okay. I was now exhausted and tired. I needed a place to sleep. And I got jump scared by this mofo. I let him out, and I think he was thankful. But I didn't care. I had myself another smoke and went to bed. Day 3. I cleared the house and watched some Life and Living and read a book. It was now time to see what was in my survivor house. This would be a perfect house to stay in, but I had to hit the road. Once there was a zombie in here, but that would be okay. I can easily deal with one zombie, and I can deal with this stupid door. Turns out that one was 2. And then, don't mind me missing over and over and over and over. This house was loaded on food, but it was also loaded on gear. Tons of weapons galore. I found this big axe and I tried it out. I now had a nice supply of guns. And explosive rounds, but I didn't have anything to shoot the explosive rounds out of. My car was already getting stockpiled up, and I forgot to eat my mine. Wanting to fill up my car and my gas cans, I backed up. Cleared out a few more zombies. And a few more. I knew there was tons of food on the roads, and I needed space for all the guns, so I emptied out all I could until this bearded man showed up. He had a really nice beard. I filled up my truck, and noticed there was a refuel from pump when another zombie showed up. This would be a regular occurrence, after all. I wanted to see what was happening, and I don't know, maybe it was infinite gas, maybe it wasn't. I didn't care. All I cared about is now my truck was full. I made sure to fill up all the jerry cans, and I drove off. My truck was completely full, and I needed another place to sleep. But I couldn't stay in that place. I mean, I guess I could have slept in the survivor house, but that seemed too close. I noticed a little shed in the middle of this field, so it'd be a perfect place to sleep. I mean, it was pretty close, but who cares? It's not the same place after all. It was still pretty close, and I wanted to be a little bit of a challenge, so I drove on. I know I couldn't fight any of these zombies, but I tried anyways. And failed, of course. I pulled out my gun, and my aiming sucked. So I gave up on that idea, plus it would probably just attract more. I ran past them, passing this nice garden gnome. I entered the house. I know they would break in, so I decided to run upstairs and sneak. They were already breaking in. But who cares? I was more tired than scared. I tried to sleep, but not safe here. I wonder why. I figured this bathroom would be the safest, and I even put this chair in front of it. I sat on the floor, with my gun by my side. I went to sleep with the sound of broken glass, praying that I wouldn't be mauled. It was now day 4. The door was broken on the house, and the zombies were most likely inside. There was a nice lady, though, just relaxing out here. I removed this chair from the door and got ready to fight, but there was nobody here. I guess they haven't found their way inside. Not wanting to deal with any zombies, I decided the best approach would be to jump out the window, and it was perfectly fine. I left that house, another day behind me. I guess this would be my life, driving house to house over and over and over. But you know, I would need a working car to do that, but my tire was now popped. Just great. I ate some peanut butter though, so that was cool. Trekked my vehicle, and I could hear a zombie approaching. Turns out it was 2. I was full rested, so they were easy to take down. Panic began to sink in when I could not start my vehicle. I thought I was fricked, but it started up. Found this general store, and it looks like a perfect place to sleep. And this guy had a nice bag, too. I was gonna enter this beef place, but I didn't really need food. That's when I found this deer man, though. I was getting overwhelmed, so I backed up. I was gonna use this place to kill them all easier. No trouble, though. I'm an expert. Kinda. The place was loaded up on food, but every place was. Then I found this fisherman's suit, and now it looked stupid again, but it was alright. There was a nice house up here, and this guy looks like he, was a bit thirsty. I think one would have done, though. This was gonna be my house for tonight, but I had some time, so I catched up on some reading. I didn't want to sleep beside a zombie, so I grabbed his body and, well, only threw him outside. And I continued reading, until it was time to go to sleep. It was now day 5, and there was a really bad storm. Stay out there for long or I'd get sick. I wasn't allowed to sleep in the same place, but I could stay here for a bit longer. If I wanted to wait out the storm, I would need more reading material, but I kept my books all in the truck. The zombie came a-knocking, but I easily vanquished him. That truck probably attracted more zombies to my location, but it was alright. It's more focused on reading after all. And I could hear him breaking in, but who cared? I sure didn't. The storm raged on, and I hoped it would pass soon, but it lasted way longer than I thought it would. I got done with my book. I knew I needed to go. Somehow the water already was off, but since I'm always on the road, it didn't seem like a problem. Now I knew there was zombies downstairs, so like earlier, I jumped out. There was this kind lady though. She was very nice. And very dead now. I stole her bar though. For no reason at all, I just wanted to kill a few more zombies. This guy had a large backpack though. That was nice. I was gonna sleep at this gas station. Keyword was. Turns out there was a horde in there, and more were approaching. And then my car wouldn't start. Perfect timing, but it finally did. Now there was only a few zombies. I could take them on, right? I thought to myself. So I attempted to. I'm kind of an idiot for doing this, but, you know, who cares? These guys had guns and everything, so I wanted them. And then my tool broke. Awesome, I like that thing too. But I was loaded up on weapons, and I tried to grab my machete, but I couldn't. I looped back around and tried again, and this time I was successful. There was a lot of them, and I was becoming panicked. And I noticed more were around. It'd be stupid to stay here any longer, because, there was at least 5 million. And even more showed up. This little gas station wasn't worth it. It was broken after all. I backed into this gas pump and drove off. It was becoming night, and I needed to find a place to sleep fast, or I'd be caught out. It was just me and the open road now. And then I almost crashed, and I came to a dead end. Great. Just my luck. With my knowledge of the map, I knew there was no houses on these back roads until only a bit away. I passed by that horde and ran into another one. But everything happens for a reason. If it wasn't for that horde, I never would have found my, well, trailer and this cool motorcycle. I took out the residence and looked around to see if the horde was following me and entered my new home. It was beat up, but it'd be okay. It didn't have a lot of room, but you know, I could make it work. I've already came a pretty long way. Here's where we were, and I decided to mark all the places I've already slept with this blue pin I found earlier. Some of the places I don't know why I marked them though, but it was okay. And of course I marked my trailer and put this smiley face nearby. You could tell I was pretty happy finding it. I went to sleep, and now it was day 6. There was a little bit of water in the sink, and I decided to just work on my reloading skills for a bit. I did a little spin to check around. I was gonna go see if I could use this motorcycle, but I decided, nah, I'm just gonna go loot these houses. Then I decided, nah, I would rather that motorcycle. It was cool, but it wouldn't be practical. I still hotwired it anyways and checked what was going on. I checked out my RV and it was very beat up. I could repair it over time though, if I had the right skills. So I began getting the right skills. I hooked up my trailer. I was gonna go take the gas out of this motorcycle when this guy showed up. But it was just one guy, so I pushed him over and stomped him out. And with gasoline in my hand, I decided it'd be best to smoke right beside gas. Super smart. The motorcycle didn't have any gas in it, so I decided to check out these abandoned houses. I figured they didn't have any loot, and I was right. They didn't. At this point, it might be better if I just straight up replace my truck, but I'm not a sissy. I came across this police car. Most likely it had guns in it, so it's worth checking out. Of course, it was locked. With my luck, I broke the back window though. All I found was this box of shotgun shells. I found another truck, a fire truck. There was a bit of a horde, but I took them out. I found these nice new pants though, and that was cool. And I found this axe. There was this gas station, but I had enough gas already. And there was a few zombies. So it probably wasn't worth the trouble. I know I needed some supplies for my truck. I found this auto shop, but just like the gas station, there was more zombies. I needed to find a place to sleep soon, so I went to this parking lot. That's where my machete broke. I always carried a backup. I probably should have drove away at this point, found another place to sleep, but I decided this place is good enough, even though there was hundreds of them. As you can see. I lost them in the trailer park over here and continue running. It might have not been that smart to continue running like this though. I was gonna sleep here for the night, but there was still tons of zombies. I figured I could use these cars though as a way to sneak around. And then I was jump scared by a zombie. But it doesn't matter. I took them out quickly. And quickly, I mean slowly. There was too many zombies here, it wasn't worth the risk. So I stealthily sneaked by these guys and found this lady just sitting here. So I bashed her brains in. And I did the same for this one. I was super sleep deprived at this point and could barely kill one zombie. But while I was killing her, I noticed this perfect place to sleep. And, by luck has it, there was tons of guns. Like I said before, everything happens for a reason. I was now loaded up on guns, and I've came a far way. 6 days into it, and I'm pretty happy where I've came. And I've already been through a lot. I'm just glad I survived this far. I drew some death around and some money, because, you know, I'm rich now. In guns. And then I finally went to sleep, making it day 7.